It's a very mixed bag of audience that we are going to have. So if you see any parent standing, students can sit on the side or stand and give place for parents to sit. So that's just a request. If at all we have people standing outside. Yeah. Okay. Welcome. Let me start the afternoon session on the Design Education Festival. Uh, this design education, it's organized by Association of Designers of India. We are all members of the Pune chapter. Association of Designers of India is a non-profit voluntary organization which we all designers have put together to promote the idea and concept about good design, promote education, promote good practices, showcase good work, appreciate and uh, let others get inspiration from their work. So this is the 17th year. We organize Pune Design Festival, and this is the 17th year. We just uh, closed a conference which happened last 2 days, which was on the 3rd and the 4th, which happened in Hayat in Vimannagar. So we had speakers across India, across multiple topics. They came and presented their work, and there were workshops and sessions. As a part of that extension, we all at ADI felt that it is important that uh, new generation and students who are in their school and in their 11th and 10th standard uh, should know about pursuing a career in design. Now, where to start, how to start? There are a lot of questions. So the students are filled with questions, and the parents are equally confused. So we thought that let's put some more light. Let people get more knowledge about it and understand. So we organized this 2 days design education festival, and I think looking at the response that we have got, trust me, it will keep happening every year. And as a part of ADI community, we are quite active all through the year, doing a lot of activities, and you'll keep hearing about what we do. Uh, all of us are actually professionals working in the industry. My name is Yogesh. I run my own design studio. There is Pushkar sitting here. He is a research and design consultant. And there are many practicing designers over here. So we are all uh, kind of in the midnight oil, burning midnight oil, and trying to get things organized for everyone's good thing. So let me start the second half session. So we have this session actually starting from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. In the first half, we will start with an idea of an open school, which has been started by IDC School of Design, IIT Bombay. Few of the professors have put together some curriculum, which are online courses, which anybody can attend. So we'll start with that. There are two students who are working in who are in IDC right now. They'll be just showcasing us few films, which will give you an insight into what kind of courses are these. So that'll go for the first about half an hour. It'll take half an hour, about 20 minutes. After that, we have Professor Mandar Rane from IDC School of Design, IIT Bombay, who will talk about the most pressing, urgent topic nowadays. डिजाइन में स्कोप है क्या, कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या, आगे कुछ होगा क्या, नहीं, या वेला बैठा रहेगा. So he'll talk about that. I think it's about a 35-40 minutes talk. Then we will move into some institutes who will come and present what the institutes are offering, how is their curriculum, how is their institute, what kind of life students get there, what kind of courses they offer. So there are 4 institutes who will present, and we will culminate with a panel discussion at the end. And that panel discussion basically will we are going to invite some professionals over here. Along with the professionals, we have uh, people who are working with the institutes. They will also be present in the panel, and it's more like an open session where we expect more questions to come from the audience, and you can ask any questions what you feel like. So I think without further uh, me talking over here, let's get into the first session where we'll look at some videos of the open school from IDC School of Design.
So I'll just introduce what is it all about. Yep. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So we have small series of videos. So they are about the projects done in collaboration with IDC, and also some of this one of the student projects which are done at IDC, and a brief idea of the Open Design School, which is an initiative again by IDC. So yeah, we can get started with this.
Talk about what it is.
IIT Bombay started about 58 years ago as a teaching institution for science and engineering. Over the years, it has evolved into subjects well beyond science and engineering. IIT Bombay started about 58 years ago as a teaching institution for science and engineering. Over the years, it has evolved into subjects well beyond science and engineering to design, humanities and social sciences, as well as management. The institute has also built up a lot of research capabilities, which enables it to take on action projects. And we are working on several projects which are in the field, making a big difference. IIT Bombay was given the responsibility for being the design coordinating agency for the Dandi Memorial Project. And this whole effort was led by Professor Kirti Trivedi of our Industrial Design Center to actually take inputs from a wide variety of people and to come up with a final design for the memorial. When we were asked whether we would take a much greater responsibility for executing this project, we immediately agreed, knowing our expertise, as well as we felt that it was a great privilege for the Institute to be associated with such a project.
I took this project up after the concept development done by Professor Kirti Trivedi to the next level of product development and implementation, and created all the systems and processes in place to get the manufacturing and development of the art components.
This project has been collaborative and participative right from the beginning, where all the sculptures in the memorial have been, almost all sculptures have been done by individual artists. The approach was that every artist, every sculptor was given a photograph of a marcher, and those were actually just impressions, and they were meant to use them as inspiration to make the sculpture.
My role has been coordinating one of the art components, which is the creation of 24 narrative murals depicting events from the march from Sabarmati to Dandi. After that initial work, the Jawaharlal Nehru Fine Arts College in Hyderabad helped in carrying this work forward. After which, the process of casting in bronze will be done at Studio Sukriti.
The rock mass we are going to use in a huge quantity in the pathway, as well as on the statue, as well as on the constructing a huge pond. We have already tested and we have recommended the different rock types. 3 rock types we have recommended. One for the basalt for your pond area on the basement, pathway, the red sandstone, nearby structure also red sandstone, and some cladding will be the granite.
We have been working in the area of materials for corrosion resistance applications for industries, and that's how we have been involved in selecting materials for Dandi Memorial structures. And we are aware from the beginning that these structures are to be located at the seashore, and the marine being a very corrosive environment requires very highly corrosion resistant materials.
When the Dandi project came, we thought that we will add the laser into the Dandi project, and this will give you much more visual effect. But as we know that laser cannot be seen without having any scattering center, So we thought of adding mist into it.
The art components of the Dandi Memorial consists of the pathway, where we have the murals leading to the marchers, where 81 marchers are marching towards the glass crystal at the apex of the main Gandhi statue, and then leading to the solar trees, and finally the salt making facility, where the visitors would actually make a pinch of salt and take it as a memorabilia.
A few of the key design inputs, especially with respect to the construction aspect of the memorial, which was in the purview of the Dean IPS, were riveting. So what was then designed was that an embankment of about nearly 2 meters would be put around and the lake be put inside. And this lake has a few interesting aspects. It is a non-permeable geotextile based lake and designed by an IIT professor. The A-frame is essentially scaled down from about 240 meters to about 40 meters. And this 40 meter also, because being a coastal kind of a project, had to be wind tunnel tested. This is done in the IIT Kanpur wind tunnel, and the foundation and the arm tested. So almost all the details were thought through.
My role as a structural engineer is to give advice on the structural designs and add value to whatever work that has been done by architects and the structural engineers related to various buildings of this Dandi project. The biggest challenge that we have is the monument, 40-meter tall monument that is of A-frame, and there is a heavy crystal. So the crystal weighs about 2.5 tons at the height of 40 meters. So basically, how to ensure stability of this A-frame against the wind load has been the major challenge in this project.
When we went first time to Dandi to look at the memorial site, we were continuously looking for the potential sources of water in such arid region. And the first site was obviously of the ocean. And the first thought that crossed our mind was how to bring the ocean water into the memorial. So in summary, in a short range, we are going to take the harvested rainwater and treat it through a proper technology, make it sparklingly clear, and put it into the monument pond. And in the long range, we are hoping that we'll be able to bring the more quantity of water from ocean and supplement this water and that water together with each other, so that a sustained all the year round water supply would be available for filling into pond.
Well, my expertise is really the solar energy, and since we wanted to power the whole memorial complex with solar energy, the obvious choice was to use solar panels like the one you see here and use that to power the lighting and everything else. We would need to have batteries to store the energy, and that was turning out to be quite expensive and very complex. So what we decided really is to make it a zero energy complex in which it generates as much energy or more energy than it uses throughout the day. So what it really meant is that it would be a grid connected solar panel in which it would generate electricity during the day and export it to the grid, but then get the energy in from the grid at night for the lighting. We designed really a very special solar tree, which I'm showing you a small mock-up here, and it's going to look really very beautiful when it's out there and done.
My involvement started with soil investigation data. This data has revealed that the soil is having a clay soil below the ground level. Based on the data and the topography, we have decided to raise the ground level by about 2 meters. And then the other involvement is that suiting the site conditions, foundations for design, for statue, bridge, and other structures. Then an innovative material for sealing the lake, for preventing the salt infiltration from bottom and top is taken care. And this is done from the locally available natural material that is called bentonite based barrier.
The Dandi Memorial project was really a very unique project for the institute, which combined both art and engineering. Everyone who was involved with the project gave the wholehearted effort into it, And everyone felt very proud to be associated with this national memorial and with, of course, Gandhiji's Salt March. I think that this memorial and the association of IIT Bombay will be a matter of pride for faculty and students of IIT Bombay for all years to come. And we are very happy that we got this opportunity to work on this project.
Hi. One of the reason we decided to show this particular video was uh, you will see a lot of aspects that go into making a project like this. Of course, it is connecting to our history. It's connecting to the Dandi March, of about which everybody has learned about in the school. We are all aware of it. But the question must be in everybody's minds: what is it connecting to design education? So when designers actually start working, they actually start working across multidisciplinary teams. There are engineers, as you say, there are geotechnology engineers, there are structural engineers, and they all work together to find out the solution that is going to perform a certain or fulfill a certain need. In this case, it was trying to show and tell the story about Dandi March through a very large museum, which will really connect with people and people will understand how it was done. A lot of such projects happen across a lot of design institutes. So, be it IDC, IIT Bombay, or NID, or MIT, or UPS, or JKLU, or Pearl Academy, a lot of these academies also have faculty which comes from profession and then do a lot of the such projects also. And design students who are probably in their second year and third year also get a chance as a part of their curriculum to work on projects like this. So before even you are graduating from an institute, you get the chance to work on such projects. So as a part of next 2 3 videos that we'll show, they're very short ones before we get into the main presentation. uh, IDC School of Design has started this design academy, which is an open design academy. So there is a small video which introduces what this open academy is. There are some courses kept. Anybody can log in, create their account, and then these are all freely available for anybody to look into, and you can learn from them. So let's start those videos.
Innovation is a buzzword today, and you can see it all around you. But what is innovation really? This course helps you to learn how innovation can be achieved by design and how design has a role to play in the innovation process, be it in the form of products, systems, or services. In this course, you will have the unique opportunity to understand design-led innovation through actual case studies at the School of Design, IIT Bombay. This course introduces you to the 7 concerns which form the backbone of the innovation process. It also acquaints you with the collaboration needed for innovation and the pitfalls in the innovation process that have to be overcome for any idea to be successful. Welcome to our course, Innovation by Design. The course, Design, Technology and Innovation, portrays innovation as it weaves across various domains like design, technology, management, and humanities. It brings professors from various departments who have toiled to take their research into innovation for the benefit of the community at large. Through the span of 8 modules, we have professors who will showcase their stories of innovation. The initial lectures focuses on establishing the methodology of innovation by showcasing the collaborative model of innovation that delves into the 7 concerns of innovation. These concerns form the backbone of the innovation process, which is so critical for any project to become successful. As the professors walk you through their innovation success stories, you'll be able to learn and understand the pitfalls in the innovation process, as well as the stages for transformation of research into innovation. Through these case studies, you'll not only learn the nuances of the innovation process, but also learn to collaborate with people of various disciplines to come up with innovation. The passion with which our professors have gone beyond their routine to innovate will inspire you in your own journeys of innovation. Welcome to the course Design, Technology and Innovation. Through this course, you will learn the transformation of research into innovation through a range of successful case studies. You'll also learn how empathy can become a major driving force for innovation. The 7 concerns of innovation by design form the backbone of this whole course. And also learn to analyze problems at every stage of the innovation journey and come up with effective solutions. How and what to prioritize and trade off during the design innovation process is a very important learning, and the pitfalls of the innovation journey and how to navigate through them. Last but not the least, you will learn how to turn your idea into a successful business model.
Thanks a lot. So, so you'll notice that as a student steps into the world of design, and as we move ahead, a lot of stories have been told about if you start design, there are no textbooks. How many have heard about this? Once you start design, there are no textbooks. Yeah, a lot of people hear about this. Yeah. So the and what we generally say is the moment you have no textbooks, you have more responsibility, and the responsibility is in 2 parts. First part is you will have to learn yourself. That's the biggest first responsibility. And secondly, what you learn you need to apply for the betterment of life of somebody else. So it is not always self-centric, it is something that delivers actual value to somebody else. Somebody who designs this auditorium or a mic has to make sure that even if I go ahead or below, has to function, right? That is the kind of thinking that has to go in. So such open courses are available. You've heard about Coursera and a lot of stuff. So those open courses are available. Institutes work in an environment where you can take credits from another department. And nowadays, new education policy will start coming in. Probably the students who are pursuing design might be able to do a major and a minor. When you talk about major, there's a major somebody is doing in film and animation, and he might do a minor in literature, or somebody might be doing a major in industrial design and he might do a minor in theater. Yeah, so there are a lot of aspects that you can connect together. So without stretching this further, I would invite Mandar Rane, who is a professor at IDC School of Design, and he would be basically talking about the most dil ka question, design mein scope hai kya? So let's see. Hi Mandar.
Hello.
I hope everybody is comfortable sitting down. We really appreciate you taking your time and making yourself available here.
Hello, you can hear me? Ha.
On the sides. People were standing. Tourist, forward there. Can you get pushed up a bit? No, the person who's sitting, please shift this side. Yeah, you can go up. Go up, go up, go up, go up. Go up. So to be honest, we didn't expect. Thank you for being here.
We are going to share this photograph to the auditorium guys also, saying we have made this full use of the auditorium.
Okay, I'm Mandar Rane. I teach communication design at the Industrial Design Center. And this is the question often asked to me, the design mein scope hai kya? So I thought I should think of this question and prepare an answer. Is it okay if I shift to Marathi, to Hindi, to English? So, so there are many disciplines in design. There's industrial design, communication design, there's mobility and transport, animation. So I teach in the communication part of it. And there can be easy answer and there can be a difficult answer. So I'll attempt both and then we'll try to resolve the confusion of the question. So with all these disciplines, it becomes confusing at times to figure out what one should do. So if I in that question, two terms have importance. One is design, one is scope. And scope, you all know the meaning of scope. And I want you to keep that meaning with you. I have a meaning, you have a meaning. Let that meaning be with you. And I'll cite certain examples. And we'll try to demystify the meaning of scope. So during the first wave of the pandemic, I went to buy a sanitizer. And you know how, okay. During the first wave of pandemic, I went to the drugstore to buy a sanitizer. And you know the prices had considerably increased. And when I tried to buy the sanitizer, it was given to me beyond the cost of the MRP. It was double than the MRP. So the drugstores had managed to increase the prices and play the game of demand supply. So in this scenario, what do you think? Who had the scope? The drugstore or the me? Or me? Drugstore. That means we share some meaning of scope. Let's cite one more example. Recently, there was an article published in Scroll, which talks about the medical industry. And that if I refer to someone, then I get certain cut or commission. So obviously, there are exceptions, so don't paint it with the same brush. I'm just giving an example. There's also a scenario where large hospitals force the doctors to get patients, and then you will get a hike in your salary or your base salary. So in this scenario, who has the scope? Pardon? Hospital. So think of this. This is just an example, so don't worry about this one. I will come to my own scenario also. So hospital management has scope if there is abundance of doctors available, right? If I'm a doctor and I don't want to accept that as a moral code, then I would say that I will start my own hospital, right? And I won't do it in that way. As a patient, I might be choiceless because I won't operate on myself. That is difficult. So just looking at these three scenarios, I wonder what happens if educational institutes also do the same with me as an instructor. They tell me get in more students, then I'll get a hike over my base salary. Most probably I would behave like others because that benefits me. And then a parent comes to me with a student, I would say that isme spark hai. Because that benefits me. So everybody operates on their own level of scope. So when I was discussing this, and since I am known to be frank in my opinion, I was told that why, Mandar, you always appear so negative in your translation of everything. So why you're understanding scope as in such a negative scenario? Can there be a positive scenario for the scope? Why my meaning of scope sounds so transactional in nature? There would be a positive side to it. So I looked up the definition of scope. The dictionary definition says the chance or opportunity to do something. So scope, chance or opportunity to do something in the unknown future. So you're worried whether it will work. Second meaning of scope also hints of some sort of security. You're worried whether you will get a well-paying job. This is another worry. Scope requires assurance from a reliable voice like me, who says that, oh, your kid should do this. So scope also hints at some assurance. And this is the reason everyone keeps on asking me about scope. With a large population like ours, everybody wants to be sure. As human beings, we don't like uncertainty. And the fun part of design is it is all about uncertainty. That is a contrast there in design. So the next question comes, then how scope gets created? Scope gets created if there is a need. And therefore, when I was asked the question whether there is scope in design, I thought it needs some serious thought. To see it positively, we need to understand these three terms. The first, which one I told you, scope, need, and passion. So scope gets created if there is a need. So passion is the next keyword. So designers are usually passionate about what they do. So passionate designers invest themselves into identifying needs of people, needs of situations. So they identify a need to solve a problem. That is what designers do. So by identifying needs, what do they achieve? Scope. So now how designers do this, how designers solve the problems is the next question that arises. They identify people's need. Now let's look at the definition of a problem. Problem is a situation in which one has a goal but does not know how to reach it. That is the reason design is difficult to practice, because it is uncertain. So what does design do then? It gives you scope to solve problems. Now let's look at a scenario. What's happening here? So somebody has kept a brick there. right? It's kind of a jugaad. So they are trying to solve the problem somehow. I'll take you to a city in Japan, which is very windy, and the signage stands fall down due to heavy winds. So somebody keeps a stone there. So you don't need a designer for this. But designer will look at this problem, observe it, and manifest into a product. You see the product? And one more form of the product, because there can be many products, because they keep on improving the product. So what's so unique about the product? It has a handle. So design gives you a scope to be creative. The idea of using water as weight is important here, versus the stone, and then manifesting it into a product. So if you are able to see through this and identify a need and think of water as weight, then it is very intelligent in the way it is done. Because I can pour off water, then it is very light, I can carry it all together, and I can have water and again build weight. So design gives you scope to create new products also. Now we'll play the same game of, is there a need for a car? Yes. Who will design it? You'll need product designers. Yeah. You'll need engineers, product designers. You need to design the interior also. You'll need textile designers. Who else? Yeah, pardon? Usability could be a feature, how I use it. But I'll need textile designers. I'll need interior designers to design the interior of the car. I'll need product designers to give form. So designers also design gives me scope to simplify complexity. Once I have the product, I need to sell it. Right? Then there are too many options here from which I should choose and make a decision that I am paying 84,000. Now, who will do this interface? You need graphic designers, interface designers. You need a bit of psychology also. All this will play to work to get this thing together. So I made a product, I need to sell it. There were product designers working for a product, and now it has to be sold. I have to make interfaces easier with the advancement in technology, and I have to create interfaces that are easily understood. So you'll need designers. So coffee is needed. And what does Starbucks want? Drink more coffee. Coffee. Starbucks wants that Mandar stops drinking tea and drinks coffee. So why they're building the reward system? Is there a need for a reward system? Because they want repeat visitors. So if there is need, there is scope. Then you will need to build this app. Get rewards for Mandar so he comes back for his next free coffee. This is a very different kind of need. It is not yet manifested. So we identified this need. This is a vaccination chart. Ideally, our country should have a vaccination chart so that it tells my people of my country that from 0 age to 10, these are the vaccines you should give, and not any other vaccines which are costly. So the government should announce what kind of vaccines. So there's a need for a vaccination chart, but it is not yet done. So designers' concern is about the future. So they see needs and they see the scope, and then it can be manifested as a product. Design also gives me a scope to create a visual language. So you need branding. See this scenario, what all is required? How many designers are required? There's interior design, There's branding. What kind of designers are required here? Wayfinding designers, graphic designers who will create symbols, icons. And we'll have more wayfinding scenarios. You will build malls. Upcoming years will be different. We need to tell stories. If we need to tell stories, this is animation on abuse by a student. We need to do 3D animation also, 2D animation also. We need to do movies. Who all will be required? You'll need editors. You will need to learn camera, VXF. All such people will be required. Is there a need? So there's scope. Design gives you scope to articulate an appearance. I need clothes. I need fashion designers. I need to make movies. So I need costume designers. In this picture, what are the designers? Furniture designers. So there's crockery there. There's ceramics there. There's lighting. There's color. It creates an ambience. So ambiences are required for restaurants. So designers will be required. This is in Mumbai. Design gives me scope to observe also. Designers should be good observers. I'll show you a picture. Tell me what's your observation. What's happening here? Car? So you see the car in IDOF. That has not been washed. So the owner of the car is not using the car, but the person who is told to wash the car washes it every day. And the water that drips down on the edge make plants grow on the edge. And the other car, it doesn't get washed. I'm showing you this picture that designers should be good observers. If you're able to observe, you'll be able to identify what? Need. If there is need is identified, there is scope. What is he doing? He's creating his own anti-glare. Because it's a need. If you give him a product, he will be happy. What is the mother doing? See the details. See the chair. See the pillow behind the chair. She has kept him reverse. So the face of the kid is on her laps. So if she breaks, this tells a product designer that there is a need for her to carry the child. So there's an opportunity. Only as a designer, if you're able to observe. Observe, you will identify a need. You'll observe, identify a need, there will be scope. So design gives you scope to identify needs. So this is Mumbai, in Hiranandani near IIT Bombay. I go for a morning walk, I see rickshawalas. So they work in shifts. So after driving the whole night, they take a nap for 2 hours. Now, if you're a rickshaw manufacturer and I am a rickshaw manufacturer, the designer comes and tells me that if you design a rickshaw which allows the driver to sleep properly, that is the next rickshaw you should build. So that gives designer, if he is observant, to scope to float. So as if you think of a rickshaw, we'll only think of the passengers, but not for the driver. So designers visit the context, identify needs, and create scope. That's the difference. This doesn't happen normally. Typically, you are given a job and you solve it. Problem will not be told to you. So you have to be a good observer as a designer. Design gives scope to empathize also. We can build a tray around the chair, right? See the chair kept in front of him where the glasses are kept. Only if you are observant, you can empathize with audience needs and think of a solution. Why did Uber come up? Because I never understood where the bus goes. Where is it? How long it is going to take? So if you had a bad transportation system, it gives scope for Uber. So then you can build those products. Now they have built an app. Now it tells me where the bus is. Will it kill scope for Uber? No, because it comes at my doorstep, but at a cost. Public transport will be cheaper. So you identify all these things. The scope and the need are related. One gets manifested, one gets created, other gets manifested. Design also gives you scope to see through for latent needs. Latent needs is future needs. They may not be just now, for the next future. What's happening here? They are building stairs. There was only. Pardon? So there was only one stair for exit. They are building the second one because if there is fire, there can be an issue. You need two exits. So if you're observant, if you're careful, design might point this out to you. There was a case in Tamil Nadu, the school got burnt and nobody escaped because the children were blind. So it can be very critical. The cost of error can be very high. In certain scenarios, the cost of error can be very low. So design gives us a scope to see through the future. What could occur? Design with technology can give us the scope to erase also. Erase certain products. Now, the door requires a handle. If I automated door, the handle disappears. So no need to design the handle. Now, this is for a context. So context is very important in design. This is a hotel door. That means I have luggage in my hand. So automated door helps, handle is not required. But one form can disappear because the need disappears. Everybody has a washing machine, right? Now what you tell the maid to do with the washing machine? Pardon? Turn it on. What else? Load the clothes and turn it on. So washing machine killed the scope for a maid, right? In this scenario, when I studied the dishwasher, our problem is our food is different, and my tea vessel does not get cleaned properly in this. So designers will look at this scenario and build a better machine. So they will look at, continuously keep on looking at problems. They can build machines, so the scope is reduced for others. So what happens if I tell you that there is a robot who puts clothes inside him, washes the clothes, dries them, irons them, and keeps it in your cupboard? So don't worry. But you will need interaction between these devices. So if there is a need, there is a scope gets created, and things will keep on changing. And designers have the ability to deal with change. Because nothing what they do is certain. It continuously keeps on changing. Is there anyone who has no scope in design? Is there anyone who would have no scope in design? Everybody sitting here, everybody's parents and the kids, no kid is blind, right? Because the exams are not designed that a blind student can give an exam, a design exam. That means blind student has no scope unless we think for him. So designers, this is one of the student creating a product for blind children. There's a school in Dadar, and I'll just play that video. What they're teaching is they are teaching shapes and lines to blind children through a game. Game is called Reshakar. You see, you think how easy it is for you to learn straight lines, diagonal lines. If you're blind from birth, you don't get it, what it is. So there has to be, because one channel got closed, I need other channels to sensitize me.
जेव्हा ऐकून आमच्याकडे येते त्यानंतर मग आमचा पूर्ण त्याचा जेवढी काही त्याची कमतरता बाजू आहे व्हिज्युअलाइज करण्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त जी बाजू आहे म्हणजे कानाने ऐकणे स्पर्शाने जाणीव मिळणे नाकाने
व्हिडिओ
श्वास
मधूनच प्ले
घेण्यापासून
करायचा,
नाकाने
तुम्हाला
वास
कंट्रोल्स नाही.
घेण्यापर्यंत सगळ्या प्रवासात त्याच्यासाठी आम्ही ऍक्टिव्हिटी म्हणजे बोटांच्या स्नायूंचा विकास किंवा स्पर्शजन्य विकास व्हावा म्हणून वेगवेगळ्या स्पर्शजन्य खेळ निवडतो किंवा साधे साधे आपण घरगुती त्यांच्या ऍक्टिव्हिटी पाहिल्या कडधान्य शोधून काढणं किंवा अदर काही माती काम करणं कागदाचे तुकडे करणे किंवा पिठाचे गोळे करणे इत्यादी इत्यादी ऍक्टिव्हिटी करतो. तसेच स्पर्शजन्य झाल्यानंतर आम्ही त्यांच्या कानांचा विकासही त्याच्याबरोबर करतो. कानांचा विकास म्हणजे काय, वेगवेगळे आवाज ऐकणे, ते फाइंड आउट करणे आणि ते कधी कधी सर्च करणे इतर आवाजात. अशा तऱ्हेने
I wanted to play a part of it.
आल्यानंतर मी जेव्हा ऐकून आमच्याकडे येते त्यानंतर मग आमचा पूर्ण त्याचा जेवढी काही त्याची कमतरता बाजू आहे व्हिज्युअलाइज करण्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त जी बाजू आहे म्हणजे कानाने ऐकणे स्पर्शाने जाणीव घेणे नाकाने श्वास घेण्यापासून नाकाने वास घेण्यापर्यंत.
Anyways, I wanted to show you a part of the video, but I am not able to get. Anyways, the student built a game so that two blind children could play together, and they could identify the. He had made 3D models of lines, and then a teacher was teaching them how to feel them. So design is about handling uncertainty. Uncertainty is challenging, and therefore no one loves it. So as you saw the definition of problem solving, you have a problem, you don't know answer to it, and this path of design is interesting. Anybody who loves uncertainty will love design. So design has lot of scope. It's endless because it can interfere into many disciplines. You can think of any discipline, and design can interfere into any disciplines. So the best part of design is that when you enter a design program, it gives you the breadth to experience all these things, and then you choose. So that is the advantage of the program. So because as a kid, you won't understand what is that you want to do. So the best exposure is that first you explore, and then you would get interested in something, and then you will try to solve the problem. So design is your ability to create scope for others, but only if you are able to identify a need. Fine. Thank you. We can have an interactive session, so you can ask me questions. Yeah. So hope it was not a straight answer, but there is never a straight answer. At least if you want to understand design in its true sense. There is a problem and it is not being solved, so a designer is required. If it is being solved and it is very straightforward, designer is not required. Then I can keep on manufacturing it because the uncertainty is lost. When things are uncertain, designers will be required. And that may be in any domain of design. So if there are needs, and needs will keep on changing, it is not static. Yeah.
So I think Mandar is open for questions. I'll just pass the mic to people, and I will need volunteers to pass the mic ahead because we can't walk with the mic.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. My question is, as I understand that when we look at design in different aspects and different industries and cater to the need by uh, uh, answering the aspects like the ergonomics and everything. But my specific question is pertaining to the medical industry, where you need a lot of equipments. And how much scope will a designer have without having the domain knowledge of the medical parameters for the patients? Like we see a lot of uh, ergonomically designed machines for taking care of your BP, temperature, and things like that. But when you go to the hospitals, there are so many equipment which are designed. I'm sure that some designers are involved in making those designs, maybe at Germany or whatever countries where they are manufactured. But these designers, they really do only design, or they also interpret and get into the depth of the medical parameters of the patients, and how much depth they would need if at all they want to get into an industry like this, because
So,
I understand it's a very niche segment.
yeah. So we were working on a HIV project, and when we started the project, we had no idea of what HIV was. So in medical domain, doctors are the experts. So we get experts on board, they brief us, we study the context, and then try to design. So that's the process. So you can never know everything of every domain.
Yeah, you have answered my question partly, but now this is other way around. When the doctors are giving a need, and then you are catering to that need by identifying that what size would be required to fit in for that specific requirement. But let's say somebody wants to get into that field, and he wants to understand, he wants to enter into that industry and see that what equipments could be made to make this industry better without doctors reciprocating to them. How this designer would proceed then? How his career graph would proceed?
So in design schools, we design products for medical domain. Like somebody would require a bed, hospital bed, an ICU bed, right? We were working. So there are domains in design. Healthcare is a domain. So every design school will float themes. So healthcare can be a theme. See in how many ways you can identify a problem. Either someone can tell you that there is a problem, or other is there are design processes. By design thinking, we can invest ourselves into a scenario. So we send students to hospitals and try to observe them in context, like I was showing you the rickshawala. And when they observe, then they identify problems, and then they can. So people can come to you and say that just visit my hospital and observe and try to see how things can be done better. It could be wayfinding, it could be patient level. So there are a lot of products done in medical also, and designers do that. So some students get interested into medical products and they venture into it. So it is how is the landscape that has been presented to you by the design school. It gives you opportunity of themes. Now I like healthcare, so I would get into healthcare. So either the problem can come to me or I can go to the problem. So it can work both ways. So it won't matter. But experts will be them. We won't have domain knowledge. So they will feed us with that domain knowledge. But all design is about the user side. A best example would be that an engineer would think of the propeller and make sure that the plane will fly from point A to point B. The passenger is sitting inside, and his convenience is thought by the designer. So designer is about what users will do, or it is about identifying needs of people. So all patient community, like I was working on a project for ALS. ALS is very difficult. How does the patient communicate? So my students have been working on diabetes in rural area, where he found out that the villagers did not understood digestion. So there is no question of insulin, and then insulin is low, high, all such things won't be understood. So then he created an aid to make them understand what is happening with their bodies. So there can be many needs that get manifested in many scenarios. So if you feel that products are designed in hospital and you are fine, then designers are working.
But I was just guessing that can we say that this is a master's level scope of specialization, or this could be elective level in graduation level?
So there is a simple problem solving, there's a complex problem solving. So this would be certainly complex.
Master's.
Not the doctors. Doctors have given the requirement, they have tested it, and they have approved it. But the design is done by the engineers, not by the doctors.
So there is engineering design, there is ergonomic design, where engineers and product designers work together to make the product better. Engineer is never a doctor. How can he be a doctor? There is no doubt. Yeah, any other question?
Yes, I have a question. So this is a question like I believe many parents like like me would have. So now we know partially we came with this knowledge that yes, design is having some scope, or I'll say a better scope also. But from the perspective of a parent, there is a conundrum like. Now, just like in the earlier days, there used to be very much different streams of engineering, let be it civil, mechanical, on. There used to always be a confusion which stream to go and take it out. Similarly, now this happening with the designer. There are various options. We know that we come with a sense of understanding that my child has some creative thinking, and it might be naturally aligned to or inclined to design, but then again, then when there is a choice to be done, like whether to go with the UI/FX design course or a product design, so how to really try to find out, like we know now we have a goal to attain, but like what is the part to be taken, how to find out which is the most suitable track for my kid?
So I think there is a lot of scope. Let the student experience, because all design programs have a foundation program. Where now tell me, how does a student know what he's interested in unless he has experienced it?
Yeah,
there's no way. So there is a foundation program. Design was always built in that manner, where there is a foundation program where you explore everything. I did photography, I did illustration, I did calligraphy, and then I found that I was not interested in calligraphy. I did animation, and I would say it is too tiring for me. I won't want to do that. Then allow me to experience these choices, and then let the student choose. Parent should not interfere so much in what they want to explore. Let them explore. Don't worry. So things will be uncertain when you are charting out path, and let it be uncertain. It's fine. There's no problem. Students will discover themselves.
Yeah, right.
We want to be sure, continuously want to be sure. Design is exactly opposite of that. It is treading the unknown path. If everything was known, then there will be too much competition in that space. There are too many people there. But if everything is defined, then imagine it is like, if I can delegate, I can automate. Right?
Right.
Since there is an interference in the unknown, it is required. I built a robo, now it needs to react with human beings. So I need interaction design. So things will change. Don't worry so much. The fact that we want to work it like a fixed deposit, where I'm sure that this will earn me this yield after so many years, we should not be worried so much like that. Let them explore. It is the time for design. We are at the best time in space, and you can see now what is happening around us. So this is the right time. Don't worry. Increase the exposure. That is the best thing you can do. Visit these conferences, visit festivals. That will give student the opportunity to see things. So he will find his own way. Don't worry so much, and let him drop what he was interested in, and then again do a new start. It's fine. I think NID was the school where there are still no grades. So there's no evaluation. There's a discussion of what we are doing. So it is not like other disciplines. As Yogesh was also mentioning, there's no textbook. Like, how do I take my master's class? There are 15 people, 15 students sitting around me, and then we start discussing. It is open-ended. I give them scenarios which are problems, and discovery of the problem on his own is more important. Imagine I'm teaching you to ride a cycle, and I always support you from behind and never leave you. You'll never learn the cycle. That means what is learning? The more I stop guiding you, the more you become independent. So the day he's independent, my conclusion, he has learned it. Then he doesn't require me. But every time I'm guiding him, the more I guide, the more I'm killing his learning. Because I'm telling him what to do. You think of other disciplines, no? You're told somebody discovered something, and you're told this is the pathway. You have a formula somebody figured out, and then they gave you a sum to solve with that formula, but twisted something. And you try to figure that out. But the design is about creation. You are creating something. If it is creation, then if it is done prior by somebody else, then there is no creation. So creation means you're doing something new always. It is not about past. All your education typically is about the past. Somebody has done something, then they teach that to you so that you get a skill, so you get employed. Design can create a product and give jobs. It is very different, the way you look at it. Our mentality is always whether I will get a job. Or you can create jobs. It is not always about getting a job. So don't worry so much. It's fine. Be at peace. Students will figure out themselves. Give them the space and the opportunity to explore. And design programs do this by structure. That is the reason design has a foundation program where this exploration is possible, and in masters you specialize. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, sir. I have a question. Design is all about creativity, but does that depend upon person to person? Like, can we improve creativity?
Yes, you can improve. By problem
How?
solving, you can improve creativity.
Uh,
Why not?
But does that depend upon person to person? Like, how much time it takes and all?
Are two people different?
Yeah.
So there will be some difference, and we should celebrate that difference.
Okay.
I cannot do certain things, but I can do other things well. And it's fine. No? What we want one person to know everything. It's not required. I can be less creative, he can be more creative. It's fine. There's no worry until I enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
So why this competitiveness of whether two people can be different? Two people are different. Let them be different. It's fine. While design teaching, we celebrate this. If somebody takes more pace to learn something, allow him that space. Doesn't matter. And somebody reaches a point earlier, it's fine. The fact is that whether he's learning something and improving at each step. So if you are able to solve the problem, so I think the way of thinking should be that if you solve some problem, then I would be interested that how did you think about it? And why did not I ask the question that you asked? and then I grow every day. I won't be the same person in next 2 months. So it's fine. There's no worry there. So
Okay.
people can be different. There can be different levels of creativity.
Yeah, one question. डिजाइन में करियर करने के लिए
Where is the person?
अच्छा, डिजाइन में करियर करने के लिए साइंस मैथ्स का कितना इम्पोर्टेंस है? डिसाइड करना है.
Hey, importance in the sense that I should be able to grasp certain things. Like as a applied art pass out, I don't get into product design because engineer would understand mechanical things better. Is the is what is said. It may not be true because as her question, different people can be different. So if you're suppose you are designing an educational product and you have to explain the concept to someone, then your understanding of that concept would matter, or you would need a subject expert. So if you're designing a maths book for children and you say I'm not interested in maths, then don't get into it because
No,
we'll do a bad job.
Yeah, maybe you are in that industry yourself. How do you see the people who have science background, maths background, they do better in design career, or या ऐसा कुछ नहीं है?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है बिकॉज इतना वास्ट है. मैं सिर्फ बच्चों के लिए प्रोडक्ट बनाता हूँ, मैं सिर्फ लाइफस्टाइल करता हूँ, या मैं दोनों करता हूँ, या मैं कार डिजाइन करता हूँ. मुझे कार डिजाइन में ही इंटरेस्ट, करने दो ना उसको. ऐसे इफ ही इज डूइंग वेल इट्स फाइन. आई एम इंटरेस्टेड इन सॉल्विंग सोशल इम्पैक्ट related projects. I do movies, I like animation. Let him do that. So there is no compartments. So it won't matter. He will discover himself. We discover our interest. When we are not interested, we conveniently shift. So it should not matter.
Sir, most parents are concerned about this whole PCM, PCMB, history, geography, psychology. Nobody talks about P, which is for passion. You touched about that. And most kids, most young adults who wants to pursue design is passion driven. You had touched upon that passion, need, scope, passion.
Yeah.
Can you please talk about that, sir?
So there's a difference between hobby. Some interest gets you a hobby and then you pursue it. I've seen students where when the complexity of the problem increases, then your interest loses. See, if I play a game with chess with you and I lose 3 times, then I'll say I'm not interested in chess because I'm losing. So when somebody is passionate, he doesn't get bored. And remember, your competition is the people who are passionate, because they will not get bored by the time you got bored. So they will excel. So I know that it is complex to discover my interest, but design allows that time to discover your interest. But don't just get into it because I like drawing, so I got into it. But it is not just drawing. It has to get into its complexity of solving problems. So if you're not passionate, remember your hobby is somebody's profession. So they will become your competition. Like that. So if you have put full heart into it, do that. You should not say that now I'm not interested because the complexity of the problem is increasing. That means you are just interested. You're not passionate. Like many students used to come with. There is one student who did the Mumbai rail map. It is a complex network of maps of many lines. And there is one student who did the IIT Bombay campus map. It's 280 hectares. It's a huge campus. So then the other student says that, and when the whole map is manifested, other students also feel interested about it. And then I tell them, okay, you're from Pune, you do the whole map for Pune. Reason nahi sir, pura map nahi. Sir, thoda chota city kar sakte. So that is the difference between a passionate student and an interested student. When the difficulty level gets higher, and design, and remember, in real world, you will be paid high for two things: for decision making and responsibility. Why these two things are taxing? Because they tax your brain. I took a decision, I am responsible for. In design, at every point you have to take a decision: what color to give, what shape, what should be the solution. Every time you have to make a decision, and whenever we want to make a decision, we want to ask someone else, should I do this? Because what, we transfer the decision making to someone else. In design, you have to continuously make a decision, and that is taxing to the brain. Anything that tax our brains, we don't enjoy unless we are passionate. So passionate people, it's a creative industry. In creative industry, passionate people will excel, obviously. So it cannot be your hobby because I like some sketching, so I've entered into design. I'm good at drawing. I don't want to draw a self-portrait in design. I draw in design to sketch, to tell my idea to someone. Or it is faster to quickly render my ideas. That is the reason drawing is required. So that would be your answer to passion.
So P for passion is more important than P, C, M, B, F, G, right?
Yes, but
I think the left brainers need to be, all of us need to be drilled that in, that look for that passion.
Okay, I'll tell you one more thing about the left brainer. I get in my masters, I get three. Okay, I'll just end up with this. I get three category of people in my class. There are engineers, architects, and applied arts. Applied art don't like math. There are engineers, there are architects. Architect is in between. He has some exposure to the abstraction of art, and there is some analytical skill. Engineer is completely analytical. So if I give an analytical problem, engineer enjoys that. My BFA student doesn't enjoy that. But problems are, people are not analytical or abstract. People's problem, you need a Mercedes car. It should be good looking also. It should have the best technology also. So it is never this or that. It is never left or right brain. I don't know who came up with this concept. Yes, we found out on the brain there are patterns where activity occurs, but it works as together. So don't make it art or science. There's no divide. When you solve problems, it's together. So both things will
Sir,
be required.
just a related point, while you touched upon this point, this need, scope, passion, kind of, we love that concept. But specifically till 10th, till 12th, we have a habit of, from a conventional education perspective, ये वाला बच्चा साइंस में अच्छा करेगा, ये वाला बच्चा आर्ट्स में अच्छा करेगा, ये वाला बच्चा कॉमर्स में अच्छा करेगा. How do we really identify कि कौन सा बच्चा और which behavioral traits which will help us guide these children into design direction? I mean, we are actually facing that problem. So we are actually working as part of a youth enabling platform, and usme it gets very difficult to tell them. So there are a category of people whose near and dears are into design. So then their children are getting into design is very easy. But then somebody who is like more inclined towards science, it gets very difficult to tell them, because there is a world in design where you can explore. But how do we say that, okay, this is your trait, and this trait really does well in this stream? Because this is like something that people explore after 12th, at least, like up till now, 12th I don't have any understanding of design unless somebody really tells me or my parents are in that field. Last question.
Okay. So you want a straight answer again?
Yeah.
So, okay, I want to design biotech devices. And if I get a science student, is there an advantage? So design is about problem solving. It does not differentiate into where you're coming from. Where you're coming from will give you an advantage. So and there will be a set of students who won't like to design biotech devices. So you'll always find some crowd. If that student is explained what is design, and if he is solving problem in science, right? It is not that engineers are not creative. They build bridges, they build many things. No? So what I can say is you can give more exposure. There's nothing else. The discipline won't matter where he's coming from. So if you could explain him design as identifying a problem like I showed you, and if he's able to solve that, then he will get interested in certain domains of design. And design is so vast that his background later won't matter. You see, later the person says that first I did this, then I changed, then I did this. So let people explore their pathways. It won't matter. Like that. And design is vast enough to accommodate that diversity. Like that. So they will find their path. Only they should be exposed and explained of what it is. Like that. So I think you could work on that to explain them design and let them at least have some part that could help them make a decision. So you could show them design products or something like that. I know it's difficult for me. So somebody is asking me, how did you decide? So I told that my brother told that send him at JJ Applied Art. Maybe he was observing me from childhood. Now see the amount of time he has observed me. And that only a parent knows. I cannot tell what is the aptitude, what he likes. So a person who is observing somebody for a long time can make a decision for someone. And that too also can go wrong, and you should be okay with it. You should not be worried. If we don't know, we should find out. There is no other.
That's the whole,
I think
that's the whole point of thanks Mandar. You are a rock star. So a lot of people may not like me to come in between you and him, but he is around, and he is around here. You can meet him outside. You can usko gherav kar lo aur baat kar lo, not a problem, right? Very approachable. The only caution is he speaks direct. So if you suddenly want to listen to a very clear statement, maybe Mandar can give it to you. But great. So thanks a lot. And I think let's stay like this only. And our usual format was that we wanted to give the space for the design institutes to make a presentation here so that they can show what kind of facilities that they have, what courses do they offer. But I guess you guys are much tuned to listening to a lot of people. So I think let's jump directly into the panel discussion, right? So I will invite here representative